Ding dong, it's time. It's time, friends. And this is the official Monday mentoring call. And let's see who's going to sign in first. George, I tell you what, George, you're taking first place. You're going to start having everybody jealous. They're going to be jealous. And Claudia comes in second. Kimberly comes in third. All right. Lorenda from Canada, nice to see you. And Judy from Texas. From Kuala Lumpur, Shamsri Ahmed, nice to see you. Linda Emerson, also from Canada. Nice to see you on the call. Linda Daisy from Miami, Florida. Nice to see you. Kimberly says, I'm in Reno, Nevada, man. Boy, I tell you what, you're probably enjoying that weather. We got snow over here. Hey, Fran, Massachusetts. Nice to see you. Brian from Chicago, my kind of city right there. Kelly, nice to see you. And you can share this to your page. Gabby from San Diego, nice to see you on the call. Hey, yeah, good evening, Fran. Nice to see you. Francis Stapleton from Florida. Nice warm weather down there. Claudia in Rhode Island. That's right. Good. Yeah, that's right. Reno, I saw you. Betty from California. Nice to see you. From the Philippines, Johan. And Tara Bowman. I think you're Indiana, aren't you? Nice to see you, George Martinez. Nice to see you. And let's see, Mohammed, I guess you're from Malaysia or Indonesia. Yeah, Brian. How's that weather in Chicago? You freezing yet? I tell you what, Francis says she's got chilly weather down in Florida. Oh, Tara says, Bama, man, let's get this straight. I'm in Alabama. Okay, I figured you were somewhere out here in this country, somewhere. Yeah, go Alabama. How are they doing in football this year? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it. But we've had so much snow, you know, up here on the elevations, man, covered all over. Unbelievable. I've never seen it do that in October, like the way it did the other day. Hey, Jenny from Boston, Massachusetts. Annyeonghaseyo from South Korea. I see you. And Tara says, I'm an Auburn fan, man. Yeah, I like Auburn too. I do. And Miss Lee from South Korea. Annyeonghaseyo. Good to see you on the call. And then Norman, let me see, from the Philippines. Nice to see you. Daniel from Bolivia. Nice to see you on the call. You can say where you're from unless you're hiding from somebody, okay? I understand if you're hiding from somebody, if they're looking for you, you don't want to say where you're from, right? I understand. And, oh yeah, Kimberly says ski season is approaching. Yeah, I believe it. I really believe that. And Chris, nice to see you. Again, you can share this to your page and it'll go out to your people. I didn't see any questions in the comments, so I figured you guys knew everything about everything. So you had no questions. Tomorrow we are flying out. We had our plane canceled, because of maintenance. Couldn't fly to Dallas to get out to Australia. So we're going to make that long trip tomorrow, and so I'll probably give a shout out from the airport in Dallas tomorrow. Ramesh from India, nice to see you. So we'll, and then we'll be on our way and going out there to meet some fine people in Australia and New Zealand. Eddie, nice to see you in Indonesia. And Linda says the weather in Canada so far is okay. It's warm, I guess. So my message, tonight was really based on questions I get asked from different people. And Brandy from Savannah, Georgia. I believe Savannah, aren't you? I love that city. I get these questions asked from time to time. How do you know, when you're looking for a company, how do you know what to look for? Most people, they just take the risk and join. And then they, and it's for better or for worse, right? And it happens with a lot of people. Hey, Steph from Pennsylvania, nice to see you. Stephanie, and from another friend from South Korea, annyeonghaseyo. So they really don't know how to evaluate companies. What I went through, and I always made the wrong choices, and that's what made me, They usually say good experience is usually from bad experience, how your judgment and how you look at things, and you say, wow, okay, I learned, now that I know better, I'm going to do it differently in the future. I went through that process for years because I was asked the question by, I think, Ray Higdon about how many companies have I been in, and I had to think about that because I think there were about 12 in 39 years, 12 companies that I've been in. And in most cases, it was the companies that left me. I didn't leave the company. Now, some companies, it was just a poor choice. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, is really when you think about it. And if you're in a company that you're happy about, then be happy about it, but also be able to explain why to somebody, okay? And my whys fall into 4 areas when I, evaluate an opportunity. Because I really believe, I've been fortunate for the last 19 years to be in a company to earn $20 million in 19 years. I could have never did that if I had to hop, jump. You can't establish anything and create any serious residual income. Yes, I know there's a few people out there that position themselves and they in a company and all that, blah, 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 and they make a fortune, but that you can't duplicate that. I mean, that person might have made a fortune, that's true, but what about the majority of the people? Well, it's too bad, them and their families, too bad, and it gives MLM or network marketing a very bad name. So the thing is, I went through a lot of experiences. Just to rewind, I can go back to in the 1980s when I was in NSA, for example. At that time, I didn't have much experience in team building and things like that. So back then, when we joined with a $5,000 investment. Some people put $25,000. Bought that many water filters, air filters, and so it was front end loading, as they say. Your garage. We used to call it garage qualified. That was that new position, garage qualified, where you bought all those products and all that, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with them? Well, now you got to go out and sell this stuff, right? Crazy. So that was more of a direct sales gig. I mean, after that, I remember going into Quorum. Quorum was electronic products that were based on security for your home, security for your car, personal security. You had this, you pull this pin and this siren went off, Anyways, crazy. But again, it was more of a direct sales thing. And so then I had to learn the lesson that, hey, you need to get into consumable products. And so I can remember that for years I went into some techie deals, like telecommunications, travel, things like that. And they used to always joke back then and say, yeah, we're different. We're not like the lotion, potion, and pill companies. Okay. So they really they use that as a card, to play, that why they're so different, why you should join. Because, look at all these nutrition companies out there. But the problem was all these companies would crash and burn. And then the only thing that was around left standing were lotion, potion, pill companies, right? All these wellness companies. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's what I should be doing because they're the only ones. They're the only ones that ever seem to stay around. So I went through this process, and I worked different compensation plans. I used to work, prior, I guess 20 some years ago, I used to work binary plans. That they used to call me the binary king. We would literally bring in teams, and we knew how to structure very quickly to maximize the plan, and we would literally break companies. Really. I remember I was in Success Telecom, and I had how many business centers? Seven business centers. One at top, 3 to the left, 3 to the right? Okay? So, which basically meant I had 8 legs at the bottom, right? Okay. So the thing was, but I was maxing all those business centers out. The company came to me and said, hey, your downline is too big. We're going to have to split it. Can you imagine the owner of a company coming to you and saying your downline is too big, we're going to have to split it? Because the company wanted to take a position and have a left and a right. So they're going to take half of my, my organization, put on the left, and the other half on the right. So those were things I went through, learning experiences I went through. And then I remember getting on the conference call, and when I realized that the company was just, they just did not know what they're doing. And I guess here's what I want to do right now. Because I'm jumping ahead of myself because, I had so much history in all of this. But when you're looking for a company, when you're looking for something that's going to pay you year after year after year after year, I mean, the thing that they sell you the dream that, yeah, work hard, and then for the rest of your life, you're going to be walking on the beaches of your dreams, man. You got this house, this car, that car. How many people does that really happen with? Not too many. That's the brutal truth of network marketing. It really is. Now, there's good reasons for that. The good reasons is because the fact that some people just don't dedicate themselves. They don't work hard. They really don't. So because of that, certainly they're not going to get those rewards. But what about the people that do? And we've seen this many times where they really busted their butt and they paid the price, and then they lost it all. And it was because they made a poor choice. They chose the wrong company to get involved with. And that's what this call is about tonight, is about the identifying marks of a real company that has real opportunity. And there are many good companies out there. There are. That's the good thing, okay? The bad thing is there are many bad companies out there too, probably. And then there are people out there that have good intentions that really shouldn't be running a company. That would be like a guy like me. You don't want me running a company. I'm great as a leader, as a promoter, and all that. But, my father ran a company, but I was not like him, That's just not my skill set, okay? He always said I was unemployable. Nobody wanted me, so I had to come to network marketing, right? So the thing is, but here's what I learned. There's 4 things you have to have in place, and I look at it like 4 wheels on a car. And if one is missing, you are in trouble. If 2 are missing, forget it. It's over. All right? And the first is the company. Who are these people? These are people that you are going into business with. And in the case of, I see with a lot of companies today, one thing's for sure, the owner's going to get very wealthy, okay? The question is, are you? And that's the thing that you have to look at, okay? You need to know who you're going into business with. I had a dear friend that called me once, and he said to me, I want you to look at a company with me. Help me to know whether I should join this company. And I said, okay. I said, well, I have a rule of 4. The rule of 4 is company, 2nd, product, 3rd, compensation plan, 4th, the team support. All 4 have to be in place. So let's begin with, who's the owner? Yeah. So I quickly Googled it. I saw, oh, wow, he's been in a lawsuit with another, in another company that he did not perform too well. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see. What's the office of the company? Where are they located? Oh, it's a suite number? The company is a suite number? Wow. Okay. First tire blown. Okay. That's, no way. Okay. You don't have a company here. You don't have a company here. The owner has no network marketing experience. He's been in a lawsuit, and his address is a suite number. Okay. This reminds me of the old days when we were in another binary telecommunications company, and we went through crash and burn, And I was throwing all these half-dead bodies over me, carrying them into the next company, right? And I remember I told one guy, I said, we were looking at a new telecom company, and I said, go down there. I sent him a stack of apps like that deep, okay, with all the credit cards, everything. And I said, look at the company. I said, if you see anything that looks suspicious, run. Do not give them the applications. And you need to talk to me, okay? And so he goes to the location of where the company was supposed to be. Guess what? It was a house. It was a house. The guy opens the door, big old fat guy. He's got a T-shirt and he's got a coffee stain right on his belly. And that's your CEO, right? And then he looks in the house, and then the dining room table's got a mountain of applications. Oh my gosh, See, and that's what he did. He ran. He followed my instructions. He ran. It's like Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run. That's exactly what he did. And I went through this same experience when I was the #1 distributor of Success Telecom. I went down to where the office was. It wasn't a house, okay. But when they took me into a room and I saw all these boxes stacked to the ceiling, I said, what is this? They said, applications that haven't been entered yet. Haven't been entered? What? And, oh yeah, we got software issues. So I talked to the owner about the whole thing. I said, okay, what are you going to do? He says, well, we got a new company coming in and we're going to go with a new software system. I said, so the checks are late, everything. No one's getting paid. I said, you got one shot at this. If this doesn't work, it's over. And sure enough, he made another bad choice. I remember getting on the conference call and telling everybody it's over. I said, do not send in any more checks or don't sign anybody up. And nobody liked hearing that. Nobody likes hearing the truth. And I was demonized for it. Then the owner gets on the call the next day and says, oh, he's a liar. The company's not over. No, it's not over, Guess what? So everyone was cheering, that I was wrong. And, okay, so I'm the bad guy, for telling the truth. And then, a month later, it's over. They closed. That was the end of it. So the thing about it is, getting to know the owner, and that's why I'm mentioning this, because I went through a lot of bad choices, and then instead of blaming network marketing and saying that network marketing is terrible, these people, they just ruin your lives, they take your money, things like that. No, I accepted the responsibility that I made some poor choices, and I needed to do my homework. I needed to find out who are the owners. Do they have administrative experience in running a network marketing company? If you hear things like, oh, they got deep pockets. I hate those cliches. It's nothing but smoke and mirrors, okay? The minute you hear cliches, that your flag should go up, okay? It's just manipulation. That's all it is, okay? What is the history behind this individual? That he's got proven history, that he knows how to run a company, that he really knows what he's talking about. If they're network marketers, then they're not qualified to run a company. So that's one of the things that I went through a lot of experiences like that in joining companies with owners that either had shady intentions of just getting wealthy quick. Some had good intentions, but they simply didn't have the skill set to run a company, or they didn't have the money, to really run a company. And there's my biggest help right there. I'll tell you what, right there. Without him, I go to him for all my advice, don't I, Arthur? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Well, good. I'm glad you made the call, sweetheart. So the thing is, and again, I went through the same thing with a company out of Canada. I remember, I said, okay, we're done with techie companies. No more techie companies. I had a cliche: high tech, no check. High tech, no check. Forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. It's going to be consumable products. So we found a binary company out of Canada that had a consumable health product. But guess what? It was ran by distributors. People who in their background was being leaders in another company. And I thought, man, I sure hope this one's going to stay around. And, we weren't in that 6 months, and then they announced one night, oh, we're having a compensation plan change. We're paying way too much money out in the compensation plan. We're going to have to change it, and we're going to have to change it this week. This week? Crash and burn. Man, people started leaving that company looking for a new home. And there I was again, at that point, I was really hating network marketing. I hated it. I loathed it. The company that I'm in now, they had to call me. And I remember, when I was thinking about getting back into it, I had a house that was built in 1860, a beautiful Greek revival. But I remember I was out there painting, and all I could think of, it was December, and I can remember thinking, I hate network marketing. All these people are dogs. They all lie. They all lie. And that's all I could think about when I was painting. And because I went through so many crash and burns, so many disappointments, I had some great leaders, great people, great leaders, and they're all broken, dead. They couldn't get back up. They could not do it again. Had they been in the right company, oh man, it would have been so different for them. They would have had exactly what they wanted. But all of us, we were all, learning. We were in that learning mode of what to look for in a network marketing company. And that's why it's so serious. And that's why I'm talking about this, because a lot of people, they just join. They don't think. It's like they're up in a plane and they say, okay. They open the door, say, okay, jump. And then they jump and they think, oh, wait, did I check my parachute? Bam. That's it. Happens all the time. So again, knowing the owners is a very important thing. And then if you look at the collective experience of those in the company, how many years do they all have in network marketing, administrative, success in running companies collectively? How many years do they have? So you got to know the team that you're getting involved with, the corporate team, because the corporate team is very important to your success. Like I said, I brought in some great leaders, and they all got destroyed by the choices that we all made. But so what's the second thing? The second thing is the product. That's another thing to look at, is the product. And again, like I said, I worked different products. I worked, telecommunications. I worked travel. I worked health insurance discount. Water filters, NSA, more of a direct sales thing. Security products, Quorum. That was a big company back in the late, I think 1991, that we did that. And without question, if you want to make the big money in network marketing, I'm talking about the big money, do not get involved in direct sales. I'm talking about things that do not have, they don't have a monthly consumption. You need to find products that people are going to buy every month and consume and use and reorder. And second, it needs to be products that people can emotionally bond to. That is so important, that they emotionally bond to the product. Why is that? Because if they don't believe in it, you're going to have such massive attrition. Attrition is the amount of people that leave your business. They either quit or they just don't order anymore, which is the same as quit, right? And so if the back door is 3 times bigger than the front door, you're in trouble. You got a lot of problems, and you're never going to get wealthy. You're never going to get wealthy, because that when I look at my success, again, it was compounding every month. Over these 19 years, I can remember my third month that my check was over $5,000. Okay, but the thing was, because I stayed with it, and more people would join every month, more people join the next month, more people join the next month, and then the compounding, and then the reorders, and that's how you get wealthy in network marketing. That's how it's done. But people need to emotionally bond to your product. Now, here's the other thing, third thing. It doesn't need to be a commodity product. What do I mean by a commodity product? Well, let's say if you're marketing echinacea, or why don't we look at the what I call the jungle juice companies, the jungle juice companies. You know, as the ones that build these stories around their products, you know. Well, we found this herb up in the Himalaya mountains, you know, and these people, they were 400 years old, just eating this plant, you know. So what we did was we got these plants now we juice these suckers, man. You're going to look so good when you look in the mirror. I tell you what's going to take 20 years off your lifetime, man. I'll tell you what, you're going to look just like you got out of high school, you know. Those kind of stories, you know. So they'll build up these kind of stories around these products, right? But the problem with that is that people are going to use the product, and they'll go to the mirror and say, man, I still don't look that good. I got all these wrinkles. Hey, man, my hair's still gray, you know. Hey, my wife doesn't sleep with me still. Hey, I thought this was going to work, you know, that kind of thing. So when you look at the companies like, you know, Zango. Where's Zango now? Remember when Mangosteen was such a big juice company? You know, big old rocket. You know, Noni Juice, same thing. You know, and then oh gosh, you know, so many of them. You know, so many of them, and they go up and then they go boom. You know, so fad products are not going to create residual income for you. They really aren't. Products need to be based on real science, real results, and that was that way. Anytime I used a product, I always said, look, this product has got to give value to people. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to promote it. I'm just not going to do it. But again, if it's a commodity product, like you can find vitamin C in a lot of places, right? Okay. But do you really want to base your future residual income on vitamin C? Of course not. Of course not. So if it's a product that you can find, or the ingredients in that product you can find, anywhere, you know, GNC, the health food store down the street, your local Herbalife distributor, whatever, okay? You know, then that's not going to be the product I'm going to market. So you need to have a standout product. And here's the thing. Let's say if you've got a product line of, let's say, 50 products, you can't market 50 products. You know, you have to look at what is the lead product. And if a company doesn't have a lead product, it's going to be tough. You really need a flagship product. It needs to be a standout product from anything that's out there in the marketplace. A standout product, a flagship product. And again, it can't be based on, you know, made up stories. It has to be certainly based on science and results. Science and results. And that kind of product you're going to do well with that. So again, when you're looking for a company, look for a company that has a very unique product and a product that you can get excited about. And again, any other products they carry, don't try to promote all those products. It's too confusing to people. Just promote the lead product, or it might be a couple of products that are really your lead products, and that's what you have to promote. And then people can duplicate that. They can duplicate that. It's not confusing. So what about the third thing? The third thing to look for, and that's the compensation plan. Well, I'm going to be really careful here because I got a lot of binary friends out there, okay? And I just said I used to work binary plans really heavy, and, you know, in the last 19 years I've worked, unilevel or a hybrid of unilevel generational. Those have been out the longest, they have. But again, it's a hybrid, so it's like you pick all the good, none of the bad, from what you've learned from past plans, right? Past unilevel plans, past generational plans. But you know, I look at compensation plans like this. Here's the thing, you know, like if you're shopping for a car, okay, you get a Consumer Reports magazine, and you want to get a good, dependable car, and you see, you see a picture of a car. And it looks sporty, sexy, all that. You know, oh, looks so cool. But then you're reading the report and it says, yeah, but it's seen frequently on the highway broken down. Wow, but it looks so good, man, you know. And then on the other hand, you look at another car, well, it doesn't look as good. This car never breaks down. You know, nothing but great reviews on this car. Which car are you going to choose? you're going to choose the one that always works. So, you're going to hear a lot of hype about compensation plans, and people will try to give you and I'm going to give you the honest, and I'm not against binaries, okay? I'm not against them, okay? So, I used to work them. They used to call me the binary king when I did work them. Binaries have changed. Back when I worked them, they were not capped. Back then, you got paid on your two legs. You had to balance them, but that was the thing. But today, it's different. Today, they have capped binaries. You get paid on the weaker leg. Now, think about it. Think about this. Do you really want to let me reverse that. Do you want your income to be capped? Think about that. Do you want it to be capped? Do you want to get paid on weaker or stronger? Think about that. See, I want to get paid on strong too, okay? So that's the thing. Those companies protect themselves. And they try to make it sound like that, yeah, you get in and we're going to build, we're going to put you in a power leg. We've got all these people coming down right below you. Let me tell you that. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. I couldn't tell you how many times I heard that hype. And anytime I talk to people that work binary plans, I said, well, did they tell you that? A lot of them say, well, yeah, And did they give you what they said? No. They used you. Okay, right, got it. Manipulation. Here's the thing. Binary plans, you're building vertical, unilevel generational, horizontal. Whether you're going this way or whether you're going that way, it's work. It's work. They want to tell you in binary plans, you just have to put in 2 people and then we're going to bring people down and you're good to go. Forget it. Never happens. Rarely does that ever happen. Yeah, sure. If you know 2 superstars and you put them in, fine. Most people are never going to know that, those kind of people. They never are. So the thing about it is, you're going to have to continue to sponsor down in a binary. You will. But again, you're going to get paid, in most cases, with a lot of plans on the weaker leg, not on the stronger leg. Here's the fact. The fact is that if you look at the oldest binary out there, USANA, they're a publicly traded company, and they pay out, it's in the 30s, in the low 30s, what they pay out. So paying out in the low 30s, that's low compensation. So I find that most binaries, they're usually hitting around late 40s, So the bottom line is, that is the bottom line. How much do you really pay out? And it's hard to get the truth, from companies and from especially the upline on what it pays out. Here's what you really got to look at. You got to look at what is required and what is it going to take and what are you going to make. You wouldn't go to a company and apply for a job and then they just said, you're hired, welcome aboard. You'd want to know what you're going to earn, right? Let's face it, friends. It takes a lot. If you want to make the big money, it takes a lot of work. It's hard work. And just a lot what you go through and what your family goes through. And when your family's not seeing you at the house and, things like that. You're busting your butt, okay? So if you're going to bust your butt, you need to check out the compensation plan and make sure that you're going to be rewarded for what you do. And is it a compensation plan for the few or the many? Are a few going to get wealthy or is it for the many? I thank God that in my line I have at least 100 individuals that have earned $1 million. I'm really happy about that. I've got a lot of people out there that earn, a lot of money. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad this was not set up for Jeff, okay? I can sleep at night. I have a clean conscience about this. But in past companies, that was not the case. It was not the case. So the thing about it is, I talked about, and I'm not saying that binaries are bad. I'm saying you got to look at them. They're all different. But I've got a very good friend that was here recently. I love him to death. He should be a $1 million a year earner at least. And he's only making $20,000, in his binary. The plan sucks. It really does. Okay? So they want to make it sound like you're going to get so wealthy and you're going to get all this the people, that are going to be put down below you. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. It's all manipulation and lies. Unilevel, generational plans are very clean. It's hard to, you can see it. You can look at what you gotta do to make money. And so that's the plan I've been working. I'm not telling you not to work a binary plan. I'm saying you better check it out thoroughly, okay? And you should be able to meet a lot of people making money in a plan like that, okay? Significant money, right? Anyway, but the thing with generational and unilevel plans, they're very clean because you can see on each level what you're going to make. When it comes to generations, generation is comprised of many levels, okay? Many levels. I'll give you an example. In the plan that I get paid out of, 6 generations, this is outside the unilevel. Just my last generation, my 6, I haven't checked in years, but the last time I checked, just my last generation, I got paid $50,000 a month. That's one generation, okay? $50,000 a month in a 6-generation pay plan. And that's outside of the unilevel. That does not include bonus pools, things like that, okay? You have to look at all that. So you have to look at the compensation, what you're going to earn. What does it require? How many teams do you have to build? Even in that kind of a plan. It may not be a good unilevel generational plan. May not be, okay? How many teams do you have to build? I didn't have to know all the details to the compensation plan. I just could look and see some very things that were very clear and evident to me. And I understood one thing. If I build 3 teams, I can go to the top. 3 teams, I can go to the top. 2 teams, yeah, you can make a lot of money, 2 teams. 3 teams, you can go to the top. See, I understood that. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And that's what I did. So, again, the plan needs to be very logical, and you need to be able to map out what it is. What is your action plan going to be? What's required? And what are you going to be compensated? So if you sponsor, let's say 6, who sponsors 6, and you go 4 levels deep, based on, let's say, a $100 order on an average, what did you earn? What did you earn? Because the plan I'm working, you earn $17,500 a month. $17,500 a month, that's not bad. 6 sponsoring 6, if you just go 4 levels deep, you don't have to go any further than that. If you just look at that, what are the earnings? See, those are predictable things, and then you understand if I took this action and taught everyone to do the same, this is what I would earn. So you have to be able to do things like that with your plan and then show people what they can really earn, just simple things. You don't have to show them the compensation plan. Just explain the action steps. Take this action. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to earn. Then they get it. They understand. Okay, let's talk about the 4th thing. What is the 4th feature that you have to have for an opportunity to remain an opportunity for years and years and years and years to come? It has to be the team you're with. The team you're with. What kind of team are they? Are they traditional network marketers? A guy like me, somebody that's, baby boomer, how we did it 20 years ago. Well, that's the way we do it today, okay? None of that high-techy stuff, you know what I mean? All right, so the kind of team that you need to have is a very progressive mindset team. People that have a system. Number one, they have a system. So there's nothing to figure out. They know what to do. When people join, they are supported. Maybe they're supported by replicated websites. That's what I do. They have a private back office, password secured. That's what I do. Okay? They have videos and tools in place. That's what I do. They have an ebook. They're not trying to sell and profit off the downline, creating more compensation for themselves like these other, I really don't like those kind of people that do that. They do it in Amway. That's how, a lot of the upline made fortunes selling their tools and things like that. Happens in other companies. Yes, it happens all the time. Again, is it an ebook that a person can get for free and then he can learn how to do this business very quickly? That's what I do. Things like that. You have to have the kind of support that's going to be in place, conference calls, Zoom calls, Facebook Live calls, and things like this, like what we're doing right now. Is that kind of team going to be supporting you? If they're not, don't join them. Don't join them. Now, if you found the right company that has the right plan, that has the right product, that has the right management, but, the team, it's just the wrong, don't join. Do not join. Not with that team. Then you shop and you find the right kind of sponsor. I did that before. I did that back in 1993. When I was introduced to a company, I could see that the person that was talking to me about it was not the person that I wanted to join with. And then second, I even went to some meetings in that city and other leaders that were conducting meetings, and I observed those leaders, and I could see that, again, they were the wrong people to go with. Until I said, okay, and I finally found who I joined, and I had no regrets. It was the best choice I made at the time. So you got to look at it that way. The team, and are they progressive? Do they have a progressive mindset? Are they really a 21st century professional network marketer? And do they have a system? Do they have the tools in place? Everything for you to support you. Why not? Because they're going to make money on you, right? And hopefully they're going to make a lot of money on you, right? So if they're going to make a lot of money, they better support you. They need to support you. And maybe the company has got things in place too that also supports. Some companies do, some companies don't. I mean, companies generally are good at two things: creating the products and then paying you. Now, those two things are all I require, okay? I don't expect them to have a leader mindset, because generally they don't. We aren't like them and they aren't like us. But the team that you join definitely needs to be a progressive leader and have that kind of support. So those are the four things that we always want to look for in a company. Again, let's cover it again. Number one, and again, it's the four tires on the car, right? Because you've got a Ferrari, man, you're flying toward financial independence. That's what you want, right? So you can't afford any blowouts. You got no time for blowouts. I had nothing but blowouts year after year after year after year of making the wrong choices because I did not pay attention to these four areas. So I did all the wrong things to learn how to do all the right things, okay? So I just want to spare you that pain. I'm going to spare you that pain. I mean, think about last year. Last year, Vima was shut down by the FTC. That was not good. Herbalife settled to what the FTC wanted them. If I told you what they settled, it would scare you to death, okay? But they made some bad choices. And so again, the people who manage your company need to be very, very sharp people. And believe very little about what you're going to be told and what you hear, okay? You've got to dig into the facts. And you can do your own research. I mean, it's hard to hide from Google, right? You can do your research. So that's the thing. Hey, Jeremy from Sydney, Australia, good to see you. He got there before we did. But do your research about who the company is. Who are the owners? Where do they come from? Did they screw anybody? Did they burn anybody? Did they steal from anybody? Were they sued? Do they have any dirt? If they have dirt, I want to know the dirt. What is this dirt? Because I promise you, if they did it to them, they're going to do it to you. Okay? That's the way it works. Okay? So the company. Second, the product. It doesn't need to be a commodity product. If it's, I'm just saying, if you can find the ingredients, the product, the concept of the product, if you can find it, at GNC, at the local health food store, your local Herbalife distributor or Shaklee distributor, then you got a commodity product. It's going to be hard to keep retention. It's going to be hard to keep people with you. You're going to see a lot of leakage. You're going to see a lot of people that just don't stay. And then you're going to wonder, man, gosh, why can't I get into the big money? Right, that's why. Okay. Third, compensation. You're going to go to work for a company, find out what you're going to be paid. Find out what you're going to be paid. And then do the homework. See what's required. And then look for, if you perform in such a way, if you do this and that, what are you going to earn? What are you going to earn? How long is it going to take for you to get there? Look at those things. Fourth, the team. If they're not progressive, if they have a traditional mindset, don't go with them, okay? They need to have the tools in place. They need to have, they have to be progressive. Online tools, online support, also venue support. If you're going to have a large team in a city or town, are they going to be willing to come up and do events and things like that? Are they really going to support you? You want to check them out. And it's good also to even ask, say, hey, could you give me a phone number of some of your leaders that I can call? I just want to get some of their feedback about how they're doing it. And when you call those leaders, ask them, say, hey, how's the support coming from your sponsor? I work so hard, and every time I call, he never answers the phone, and do the research, see, that's the reason why most people don't make it in this business. I'm being honest with you. I thank God. I think God had mercy on me. I think he felt sorry for me. He saw me make all the wrong choices, do all the wrong things. We went on all these companies that never worked out. And he says, he's stayed with it so long, I'm going to give him one that will, okay? But there are a lot of good companies out there. I don't want to say, that they're not. There are good companies out there. But there's a lot of bad ones, and there's ones out there that have good intentions, but they're not going to be around 1 year or 2 years from today. They're not going to be here, okay? But follow this criteria, this rule of 4. It's like the 4 wheels on a car. You're flying, where you want to go, and you need to get there. But you got to do it by making it. And I'm not saying, some of you might say, well, man, I'm already in a company now. I wish we'd had this conversation a year ago, Well, I get that, okay? But you can still use this rule of 4 to evaluate the company that you're in. And if it's a fit, it's a fit, good. And then you should be able to take this rule of 4 and explain it to other people why this rule of 4 is the very reason why they should join you. That's right, because of this. So use that tool. I do it all the time, when I talk to people, I say, well, what I learned? I made a lot of mistakes in the past, but, I got it down to 4 things that must be in place for a company to be a real opportunity years from today. And that's why I'm still getting paid 19 years later, is because I made the right choice. And I remember when I joined 19 years ago, I said I was in another company, and again, it was an ownership issue. They had great products, but it was an ownership issue. And the owner simply, he's great with products, but he wants to wear the management hat. He wants to wear the hat that makes the compensation plan decisions, all these things. He doesn't, he's not progressive. And I could see, man, this will be bad. I said to myself, Jeff, you've went through so much. You cannot stay. I got an antenna for this now. Okay, so I said this would be a disaster if you stay with this company. And then finally, I found a company that fit the rule of 4, and I said, bingo. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I said, and you know what? I'm going to bust my butt. But you know what? And I told my upline in the other company, I said, if I stay here, I will starve to death. And I cannot afford another failure. There is no options. There are no more options. I cannot fail. Do you understand? I cannot fail. I've been through this so much, I can never do this again. Okay? So I have to make the right decision, which is why I'm not staying with you. So I said, but I found a company here, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to bust it. And when I get to the end of the year and I look back at the year, I'm going to be glad. I'm going to be so glad I made this decision. And you know what, friends? I had no regrets. And then I stayed with it, and that was it. And that's what you have to do. So here's the thing. The rule of 4, company, product, compensation plan, team support. Those 4 things must be in place in order to have an enduring opportunity that will pay you residual income year after year after year after year. And that's how you get rich in network marketing, despite what they say out there. The namesayers and all that, despite what they say. That's how you get rich. And I'm I'm proof positive on that, okay? But here's the thing, and if you're in a company that has those 4 tires, all 4 are in place, thank God for it. Then the only thing you got to do is just stay focused, stay dedicated, and keep going. That's it. So I'm going to be on my way to, yeah, that's right. Stephanie says, pick your horse and ride it. That's right. You just throw that saddle on that horse and you jump on it. And that's it, man. And you just go. That's what you got to do. So I'm glad so many of you made the call, and I'll give you a shout out when I'm at the Dallas airport tomorrow, because I fly out at 10 o'clock. And then from Australia, I'll give you some shout outs from there in New Zealand. It's a reward trip. It's not costing me anything, so it's pretty nice. I mean, it's like cost the company about $80,000 to send 4 of my family members, me and 3 others. So $80,000, that's not bad. Yeah, nice trip. Anyway, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to getting back and doing these calls from here and being back in the good old USA. Good seeing all of you. I will give you a shout out tomorrow, okay? Look forward to it, and remember the rule of 4, okay? Have a good night.